This is the video that you have been waiting for. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the top 10 Denver neighborhoods according to 5280 magazine, one of the most popular publications in all of Denver. They just came out with their 2024 rankings, and I want to share all of that with you guys today, the top 10 Denver neighborhoods. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to another episode of Living in Denver. As always, my name is Adam Lang. I'm a licensed realtor here in Denver, Colorado, 40+ year Colorado native, and super excited to share this special episode with you today. But really quick, before we get started, all that info that's down below, we'd love to connect with you guys. Even if you're not seriously looking right now to move to Denver, I guarantee there's a few ways I can provide value. So make sure you reach out, even if it's just a text message, and let's connect. And hopefully I can help you guys if you have any questions at all about the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. But let's go ahead and get started. Today is going to be all about the top 10 Denver neighborhoods according to 5280 magazine. They do this every year, and they just came out with their 2024 rankings. Now make sure you guys stick around till the end, because I'm going to be going through these in order, starting at number 10, going all the way down to the number 1 Denver neighborhood for this year, according to 5280 magazine. This is a super popular publication, as I said earlier, so really think they have a lot of credibility when it comes to the hottest spots in Denver. Now, there is a little bit of a background on how they do their scoring system, and I'll talk through that real briefly, and also I'll put a few different images on the screen just to give you a little bit more perspective on how this all came about. So there's basically 4 categories. Number 1 is going to be about 30% of the overall ranking, and that's going to be based off of home prices. They base this on year-over-year changes in the average closing prices, and they source this from DMAR, the Denver Metro Association of Realtors. And on a side note, neighborhoods that had fewer than 6 total sales were excluded from the rankings. The second variable that they used to rank was crime data, and this made up 25% of the overall rankings. They took the total reported crimes from 2023, and this was provided by the Denver Police Department. They adjusted it per capita using 2022 population statistics, and then these rankings were from the lowest to the highest for crime rates. The third variable was school ratings, and this made up 15% of the overall score. This was derived from the Colorado Department of Education's 2023 final school ratings, and this also excluded schools with insufficient data or just those that didn't administer state assessments. Schools without boundaries used ratings from any of the nearby schools. And then the fourth and final variable was what they call the X factor. So 5280 magazine took the final 30% of the score and created an X factor, which basically is just taking anything that can't be quantifiable with data. So this is stuff like access to parks, what kind of restaurants and bars and just different amenities are in the neighborhoods, all that good stuff. And it was a ranking from 1 to 10. So now that you understand how that 100% of the ranking was established, the last thing I'll mention before we dive into this is telling you that initially there were 78 Denver neighborhoods that were considered within this top 25 Denver neighborhoods publication that they put out a couple weeks ago. 2 of these areas ended up getting taken off the list, and that was Lodi and Rhino. And that's just because they're not officially recognized as Denver neighborhoods. So with that remaining 76, they took all these different 4 factors that I mentioned and created a top 25. And today I'm going to be sharing with you the top 10. All right, so starting us off at number 10, Sloan Lake. I've done a lot of other videos on Sloan Lake. This is definitely one of my favorite parts of Denver, so no surprise that it made the top 10 list. In fact, I just recently moved from Sloan Lake and had a great time living over there for several years. Sloan Lake is located just west of downtown Denver, and it's right next to a lot of other very popular spots like West Highlands, Sunnyside, Jefferson Park, and Edgewater. It's got an incredible park that is great to walk around with your dog or just get exercise before or after work. On one side of the Sloan Lake, you have a beautiful view of downtown Denver, and if you're on the eastern side of the lake, looking out west, you have a beautiful view of not only Sloan Lake, but then all the mountains behind it. So location is without a doubt very high on the ratings, in my opinion. As far as unique features go with Sloan Lake, a couple quick things I'll mention. First off, The population of Sloan Lake is right around 7,800. It also had an average sales price in 2023, so I'm taking last year's data, at $982,091. So as you can tell, with the high price point average of almost $1 million, this is a very popular area, and you're gonna see a lot of homes that have been rebuilt either from ground up or bungalow style homes that have had significant renovations and improvements to make them into these much more modern and very trendy styles of homes. As with a lot of my other videos, I also recommend always checking out niche.com. It's a great resource for school and also crime data. But when it comes to 5280's rankings, they put Sloan Lake pretty high on this score. And I would say that's partially because of Brown International Academy, which is located here in that Sloan Lake area. And there's just a lot of accessibility when it comes to other schools in the surrounding area. So Sloan Lake, without a doubt, no surprise, in that top 10 spot at number 10. All right, so jumping right into number 9. Number 9 on the list is gonna be Washington Park West. So not just Washington Park, but Washington Park West. So location is everything, and I think that's probably why it made the top 10 list. It's situated directly next to the iconic Washington Park, the actual park, and it has incredible access to downtown Denver and also some easily accessible streets to get you down south as well as getting you out west to the mountains. But overall, I think it really is coming down to just its direct proximity to Washington Park, where you have tons of options between great recreational activities, a ton of social stuff going on throughout the year, and it's just one of the most iconic, beautiful, and just private, large parks. You know, lots of mature trees. It's so big that you can really still find your space so you don't feel too crowded. And it is just literally one of the most popular parks in all of Colorado. So as far as unique features go for Washington Park West, the population is about 7,645, and the average sales price in 2023 was over $1 million at $1,102,032. As you guys can tell, this is another very popular part of Denver. When it comes to safety in schools, Washington Park West is also very high on the list. It always has a high reputation for the schools, and one of those is Steele Elementary, really popular for families. Coming in at number 8, we've got Wellshire. I actually just filmed another video on this specific neighborhood recently last week, and that's because I had another YouTube person just like you guys watching right now that reached out from out of state, and I helped them buy a beautiful investment property in the Wellshire neighborhood. You know, this is always high on 5280 magazine's top rankings, and this is an area I did not know as much about until I helped my clients start to explore this area a bit further, and it was great, especially for them as an investment property for rentability. And there's a few reasons for that. For one, it's a great location. It's this little suburb type feel of a community, but surrounded by a very urban environment. It's got really good accessibility to some of the major thoroughfares like I-25, as well as 285 if you want to get out west, and also just Colorado Boulevard, which can take you within a 5 to 7 minute drive from Wellshire right down into the Cherry Creek Mall in North Cherry Creek, which has some of the best dining and shopping in all of Denver. It's also really close to the Denver Tech Center, and if you're a golfer, the Wellshire Public Golf Course is definitely a great spot to check out. Really good rates, and it has some cool views of Denver that is definitely worth putting on your bucket list if you are a golfer. When it comes to unique features of Wellshire, as I said a few minutes ago, this suburb style of neighborhood is so unique to this side of Denver, which I think makes it very popular, especially for families or people that are still looking for larger lots and a little bit more privacy. In 2023, the average sales price in Wellshire was actually almost $1.3 million. The population is significantly smaller than some of the other neighborhoods in Denver, and it's only about 3,000 people. On a quick side note, since the population is a lot smaller in Wellshire, there aren't as many home sales, so even just a few homes can really drastically change that average sales price. So even though I did mention that it's a 1.2, almost 1.3 million average sales price for 2023, there definitely are still some great deals out there in the Wellshire neighborhood. You know, my clients that I helped out just very recently last month, you know, they were able to purchase a home in this area for under $800,000. And then as far as safety and schools are concerned, this is another reason why Wellshire is always high on the list of Denver neighborhoods. It actually ranked recently as one of the safest in the entire city of Denver. You guys can look that up for yourselves online. can also find some of that school information on niche.com. Great schools and just an area that is very popular among families and just anybody else that would prefer to have a little bit more of that laid back, that suburb style vibe of living. Going into number 7, we've got Platt Park. So Platt Park is awesome. This is another one of my favorite parts of Denver, mainly because of the South Pearl Street. And this is just Pearl Street in the Platt Park neighborhood. You've got awesome restaurants, some fun bars to check out, but mainly it's the cuisine. And for me, I love Asian food. There are some of the best sushi restaurants in all of Denver, located right here in Platt Park, and just definitely a spot you got to check out if you're into sushi and Asian cuisine. When it comes to location, Platt Park is awesome in my opinion because it's really conveniently located a little bit west of some of the other neighborhoods we've shared so far in this video. It's got really good accessibility to Highway 85, also known as Santa Fe. I take this on a daily basis as I live in Littleton. So anytime I'm commuting to Denver, I drive right through this Platt Park area of Denver. And Santa Fe is just this little kind of a secret thoroughfare that's much less used than I-25, I-70, and C-470. So Santa Fe is just definitely a really good option for people that are living on the western side of Denver and just want to still go north or south without hitting nearly as much traffic as they would on a road like I-25. I also love the location of Platt Park because you've got a pretty easy commute going down south to Littleton, as well as north up to downtown Denver. And then you can also just head out east and hit the Denver Tech Center. So if you're somebody that is, kind of going all throughout the Denver area and you want to be in a really good centralized location, Platt Park might be the spot for you. Platt Park also has some very unique features that make it a little bit different. And one of these just being the style of homes. It's really famous for having a lot of historic homes, as well as you still see some homes that have been redeveloped where you might have some bungalow style homes from the 1900s right next to some that have just been built in the last few years that are very modern and just have a very cool, more updated, modern look to them. In 2023, the average sales price in Platt Park was a little bit less than the last couple of neighborhoods. It was just over $1 million, about $1,037,000. And as far as the population goes, it's sitting at right around 6,672 people. And this is again for 2023 data. I think Platt Park made it up on this top 10 list also because of the schools and crime data. Schools are very highly rated here in the Platt Park area. Platt Park Elementary always has really good scores, and there's definitely some other excellent schools in the surrounding area. Again, if you guys want more specific data on schools, check out niche.com. All right, so University, as the name might suggest, is the neighborhood surrounding the University of Denver, DU. DU is a really gorgeous campus and are very, very successful with the hockey team. So DU hockey is always in the top 4, the Final Four for college basketball. In the hockey version, it's called the Frozen Four, and they are always in the Frozen Four, if not winning the entire national championship. One of the best hockey teams in all of the nation, and it's really cool just so we have it right here in our backyard here in Denver. So University is a great neighborhood if you are a student, maybe faculty, or you're just somebody that wants to be very close to the university. Living by a university has some perks. If you like to just take walks in the afternoon and maybe instead of walking through a park like Sloan Lake or Wash Park, you can just walk through campus, which is always very nicely manicured and maintained, and just a nice feel to have right in your backyard if you live in the University neighborhood. The University is also very close to downtown Denver, and similar to Platt Park and also to some of the other areas I've shared with you earlier like Welshire, it has a nice centralized location with pretty easy access to all the major highways, as well as just easeability to get to downtown Denver, or if you do need to go out east to the Denver Tech Center. I'd say that one of the unique features for DU and just this university neighborhood is the public transportation, being that it is in a university college area, is definitely a little bit better than some of the other surrounding neighborhoods. So if public transportation is important to you, light rail has really good accessibility here in the university neighborhood. And just overall, you have really good access to get anywhere you need to go in Denver. The average sales price in 2023 was a little bit lower in University. In fact, this is the lowest that we've shared so far in this video. It's coming in just over $812,000. And that's also with a little bit higher of a population than some of the other neighborhoods at 9,496. When 5280 magazine ranked the safety and school section of their rankings, I think the University also had pretty good scores here. Being that it's in a university type environment, safety always seems to be a little bit better just because there's more people patrolling the area. And when it comes to schools, in addition to the university, there's also University Park Elementary, which typically has very high rankings and scores. Now, going down to number 5 in our list, we've got Country Club. So my girlfriend lives in North Cherry Creek, and we actually frequently just walk around Country Club. It's a beautiful place just to enjoy kind of just walking down the very large tree-lined streets and just admiring some of these incredible estates. They're not homes in Country Club, there really are estates. You know, massive homes, very large lots, and just a totally different vibe than pretty much anywhere else in all of Denver. So when it comes to location, the reason it's called Country Club is it's directly across from the Denver Country Club. It's a very affluent neighborhood, very easy access to downtown Denver, only about a 10-minute drive away, and you're also within walking distance of Cherry Creek North and Cherry Creek Mall. Tons of restaurants, shopping, all of that good stuff, as well as some really good fairs and summer markets, farmers markets, the winter Christmas festival, just tons of different options when you live so close to the North Cherry Creek neighborhood. As far as unique features go in Country Club, as I said earlier, it's all about just these massive lots, very affluent neighborhood with beautiful homes. Definitely in holiday season, you know, Christmas, and I think now Halloween as well is becoming such a popular time of year for people decorating their homes. This is one of the neighborhoods that you just have to drive through the streets and just really admire all of the crazy decorations that are, in most times, professionally installed. So beautiful time of year to drive around Country Club, anytime from October through December into January. Now, the average sales price in 2023, so the most recent data that we have for a full year is 2023, and Country Club actually came in over $2.4 million. So, as I said, very affluent neighborhood. It also has a really small population at just over 3,100 residents. Because it's so affluent, definitely has a high safety rating. I've actually seen some different patrol cars driving through this neighborhood when I've been out walking my dog with my girlfriend. We just walk around this neighborhood. So definitely just seems like there's a little bit more of a presence, and you feel definitely very safe and secure in this area because it is so close to the Denver Country Club, and it's just in an area that definitely has a lot of security. Similar to safety when it comes to schools, one that always makes the list when we're in this part of Denver is Brown International Academy. It's actually a public K-8 school. It has a really strong emphasis on language as well as international education. Definitely check that out if you guys are a family looking at different schools. Always at one of the top rating schools of Denver. All right, coming in at number 4, we've got Congress Park. So Congress Park is just slightly east of downtown Denver, really close to City Park. So you have a lot of really nice amenities like the Denver Zoo, the Natural History Museum, just a lot of stuff like that going on in this part of Denver. And because of that, also lots of really good access to the highways, I-70, I-25, and just easy access to downtown Denver, as well as going down south to the Denver Tech Center or out west to the mountains. As far as unique features go with Congress Park, I love how diverse the neighborhoods are over here. You'll see old Victorian homes, you'll see apartments, mixed-use buildings. You really have it all in Congress Park, and I think that just makes it a little bit unique compared to some of these other areas that I've shared with you, like Wellshire, Platt Park. You still see some of that, but not nearly like you do in Congress Park. They also have the 40-acre Congress Park, which has, tennis courts and tons of picnic tables. Just a really beautiful park, not used nearly as much as Wash Park, Sloan Lake, some of the bigger parks. So I think Congress Park is also a little hidden gem of a park where you can still have very close accessibility if you live in this area and just don't have to worry about it being nearly as crowded as some of the more popular big name parks. For Congress Park, the average sales price last year was $857,000, and the population is, I think, the largest of any of them that I've shared with you so far today, just over 11,000 people. In fact, 11,362. The safety in schools in Congress Park are also rating pretty high, and that's probably why 5280 Magazine put them in their top 10. Congress Park Elementary would definitely be one to check out if you do have a young kiddo that's looking at elementary schools. All right, going into number 3, close to where Congress Park is, this one is going to be South Park Hill. So South Park Hill is located on the northeastern side of downtown Denver, and it is very conveniently located next to some of the main thoroughfare highways, again, like I-70 and I-25, just easy access to get wherever you need to go around Denver and even up to the western slope or other areas outside of the Denver metro area. You got great access to the Denver Zoo, the museum, all that good stuff, just a little bit south of you if you do live in this South Park Hill area. South Park Hill is seeing a ton of rejuvenation at the moment. One thing that's cool is you do find a lot of homes with larger lot sizes in this area. Since it's not quite as of a dense area like you find in Wash Park, some of the areas that we've shared earlier, South Park Hill has a little bit, again, larger lots and just an area that has not seen the same level of development quite yet. So if you are looking for areas that are still on the up and up, this could be a really good place for you to check out. The average price was actually still over $1 million though. So in 2023, South Park Hill saw an average sales price of $1,029,963. And the population for South Park Hill is just over 9,000 people, 9,009 residents to be exact. Continuing on with that safety and schools portion, definitely Park Hill Elementary is one that you should check out, which also consistently gets high ratings on niche.com. So definitely look into that one if you do have young kiddos. And as far as safety goes, this is an area that I definitely think is seeing a lot of change recently. I used to not think it was necessarily the best area in Denver for this, but I think because of so much growth and development currently happening in this area, this is also improving by the day. All right, we've only got 2 left. At number 2, we've got Berkeley. Berkeley is another one of my personal favorites. I love it for a few reasons, but the first reason is its location. So not only is it located a little bit on the northern side where you have very easy access to I-70 to just shoot out west to the mountains and really avoid a lot of the congestion of traffic that you're gonna face if you live more in the metro part of Denver, a little bit more in urban type areas. And I also love how it's got easy access to some great parks. You've got Tennyson Street, which has a ton of restaurants, nightlife, just a lot of stuff that for many people that live in the Berkeley neighborhood is within walking distance. And you have a really cool large park called Berkeley Lake, which you can walk around, and it's located with beautiful views of the mountains, as well as Lakeside Amusement Park, which is a really famous old amusement park we had in Denver with one of the most famous wooden roller coasters called the Cyclone. It's actually still open today, so if you're visiting Denver in the summer, it's worth checking out. It's a little bit scary in a different sense, not because of the huge size and scale of the rides, but because it is so old. Sometimes you're a little bit, worried about, is this thing gonna last until I finish the ride? So anyways, definitely check out Lakeside Amusement Park. But going back to Berkeley and why it's number 2 in 5280 magazine's top rated neighborhoods in all of Denver, it's all about that location. So really nice, easy access, like I said, to the mountains, but it's also in really close proximity to some of these other very, very popular and expensive areas like West Highlands, Sloan Lake. It's in that northwestern side of Denver that has all these other great areas all around it. So not only if you live in Berkeley, not only are you enjoying Tennyson Street, but you have a lot of easy access to other great parts of Denver within a 5-minute drive. As far as unique features in Berkeley, you're definitely seeing a lot of development. I've been seeing a lot of more mixed use again in this area, as well as luxury apartments and condos, and just homes that have been completely scraped and replaced with massive modern townhomes and also single family homes that are very edgy and cool and just very unique. When you walk down some of these streets in Tennyson, every house has its own unique personality and character. And I think that makes these neighborhoods so cool and not so cookie cutter like you'll find in other parts of Denver, especially in suburbs on the south and southeastern side of Denver. Safety and schools in Berkeley also rank fairly well. When it comes to schools, Berkeley Elementary is always ranking pretty high for its performance. And when it goes back to safety, again, it's in this area that is surrounded by very high dollar homes and neighborhoods. So I think there's just a little bit higher level of presence when it comes to police, security, patrolling the area, that kind of stuff. The average sales price for Berkeley last year came in at $962,200, and the population in Berkeley is 8,769 residents. So the price point in Berkeley isn't quite as high as you might expect. Despite its high level of popularity, there are still some opportunities for people to get into this area and this neighborhood and not be spending $1 million. So definitely check out Berkeley. As I said, it's one of my personal favorites. I've got several other videos on my YouTube channel, so check some of those out. And now, without any further ado, drum roll please. The number 1 neighborhood, according to 5280 magazine, their brand new ratings that just came out, the number 1 neighborhood is going to be, yep, you guessed it, Washington Park. Now, I know that I already shared Washington Park West, which was also on their list, but now we're talking about just the overall Washington Park neighborhood. Located just south of downtown Denver, this area really does have it all if you're somebody that really values the ease and accessibility to get anywhere you need to go within Denver, all in just a short drive. Washington Park also has the iconic Washington Park, the actual park that is one of the largest in Denver and is really the most popular, iconic of any that we have here in town because of its views, all of the different amenities that it has, and just the social life, the scene that it has created over the years. In summertime, you can go over to Wash Park and you'll see hundreds, if not thousands of people just out, still enjoying their space. It doesn't feel too crowded, but really just doing all sorts of different activities and fun stuff. So the actual park, Washington Park, is definitely the staple and really what makes Washington Park such a special neighborhood to live in. The average sales price for Wash Park, because it is so popular, is just over $1.9 million, and the population is just over 7,100 residents. Another reason why this is always such a popular area, and I think probably what really put it over the top at the #1 spot for 5280 Magazine's ratings, was its schools and safety. Very highly rated schools, including Steele Elementary and the Denver Montessori School. Washington Park really is one of these areas that just continues year after year after year to always be so high up on most people's lists when they're considering moving to Denver. So if that might be you, definitely reach out. I'd love to share more about Wash Park. But also, before we close out this video, I know I went really fast through all of these different neighborhoods. There's obviously also a lot of others that you might want to also check out. I have a brand new relocation guide where I actually put together the top 20 neighborhoods in my opinion. And on each of these, I share some of my personal favorites when it comes to restaurants, shopping, nightlife, all that good stuff. So I want you guys to get a free copy of it. The link will be down below in the show notes. And on top of that, I also, again, want to recommend you guys just reach out. So my phone number, my email, all that info that's down below. Even if you're not moving for another year or two, maybe if you're not even sure if Denver's the right spot, I guarantee there's some value that I can provide you with, and it's no hassle. I'm not expecting anything in return. I would love just an opportunity to connect with you guys and just help you make that decision and really understand all that Denver has to offer. As a 40+ year Colorado native, I just love this city so much, and I hope you guys give it a chance as well. That being said, I'll leave you with that. Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button so you guys get every video I come out with once a week, every single Monday. And until next week, have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.